Good morning. Just want to reach out. My goal is to do a variety of touch-base videos throughout the weeks in case you're wondering about certain assignments or just to kind of check in with everyone as well. So these are quick 2-minute videos, something like that, to just review something about the course or about an assignment specifically. So what I wanted to chat about today was Artifact 1. So you've got an artifact, your first one due on Sunday. You will have already knocked out your discussion board post for this week, so I'm sure you're probably finishing that out today, and then you're working to focus on the artifact. So just wanted to give a little context behind the artifact. So what I did was upload a visual image into the week 2 content about artifacts, because some people kind of get a little confused as to what is an artifact, how do I talk about this thing. And I got pretty detailed in the syllabus for you on that, but I just wanted to pull out a few key things. So anything can be an artifact. So we define the time period. You'll do 3 artifact descriptions. They will have defined pieces to them. And what we will do is, for example, somebody might have a pennant from Harvard from 1750. And you might not have the actual pennant. I get it. From the early ones, it's kind of hard to have the tangible item. But what we do, it could be a picture, a photo of that pennant, or a photo of a student in a residence hall room studying, or a composite picture of maybe a first Greek organization at a school, or just a candid shot of students dining in a dining hall, those types of things. Whatever it may be, you just choose that item. For example, I've had students in the past actually have journals from their grandmother while they were in college, and those became one of the artifacts that they looked at. So it really can be anything. What I need it to be is something that tangibly ties to a specific college. So sometimes in the past I've had some folks want to do, say, the Morrill Act of 1862, or Title IX, or those types of things. That's too broad. That actually that hits every college, and I needed you to be able to zero in on one college specifically. So have an item that actually tangibly connects to an institution, and go from there. And then what I want you to do is build context around that item. So the image that I uploaded into the week 2 content shows a program at an Iowa football game early on. And what I want you to see is there's more to just Iowa than that one football program at that time. There was a lot going on at that time. So I want you to tell me what was happening in America at that time, so we can begin to understand some of the confounding issues. Was it racism? Was it still slavery? Was it women's suffrage? What other things were happening at that time? What movements in America? And then also, what was happening at that institution and maybe in that region at that time? So this can paint a little more deeper picture of, hey, not only was this happening in America, but regionally, this component was pretty unique. And at the college, maybe they were transitioning. So, for example, I graduated from Western Kentucky University with my master's. And in 1966, Western Kentucky State Teachers College became Western Kentucky University. That's a pretty big time, pretty big item in that time for that college. So that would be something that would be happening at that time in the institution, or any kind of movements on campus, whether it could be protests, things like that. And then the final thing that I want you to talk about is what kind of higher education legislation, movements, or things could be happening. For example, would the establishment of Pell Grants be a significant thing that was happening in higher education? Thielen talks about philanthropy. So if philanthropy was happening, major movements of philanthropy were happening at that time. So whatever that item is, and Thielen can be your great reference for this, so what was going on in higher education at the time. So then when you layer those 3 things together, this becomes you understanding this one item, whether it's a pennant, whether it's a picture, whether it's a journal, whatever it is. It paints a full picture of that item, and you can understand a whole lot more about that item when you look at higher education history happening at the time, what is happening in America at the time, and what is happening at the institution in the region at that time. So hopefully that gives you just a little bit more clarity. I definitely want to make sure that you're citing as well, so bring your sources, use Thielen, support your case when you're making statements, those types of things, and use some outside journals to help connect any of the corroborating evidence that you're showing things going on. So if you're stating facts about what's happening in America at that time, give me a source, those types of things. So I uploaded an APA reference sheet from an old professor of mine, just to give you some samples of some key pieces, and we can go from there. So I hope that helps you. I'm also going to do a collaborate session, so look in week 2 folder and you'll see the link for that for you to connect with the collaborate session. Hope that helps, and look forward to seeing you on another video. Thanks.